want anybody with a set of keys. Anybody with a set of keys in the building. I know a lot of people don't carry keys around. You have your set of keys with you? Let me see your set of keys. Now, what I want you to do for me, I want you to, first of all, tell me how many keys you have on your key ring. Is that a key ring? That's a key ring over there, and then that's the key on the separate side. So tell me, explain the key ring to me, please. Matter of fact, let me hold those if you don't mind. Let me hold. I promise to give them back. Amen. I'd like to get all of them, please. I promise to give them back. Amen. Amen. She's a little nervous, but it's okay. I promise. All right. So this set of keys, right? And I promise you I won't memorize them, all right? This set of keys, this is 3 on this ring. These represent what? Mailbox and 2 separate doors, the back door and front door. They look so much alike, but so these are 3 keys. Good. And then this is, what's these over here? So that's a car key. And another mailbox key. Okay. Beautiful. So would you ever take this key and try to open up your front door? No. Never? Well, would you try to take this key and start the car? Never. Good. So what happens is, for most of us, if you are a D, you go to everything in your life with a D. You take the D everywhere you go, but you can't open that door with it, but you take it anyway. If you're an I, you take the I everywhere you go, right? Everywhere you go, you take it with you. Right? If you're an S, everywhere you go, you take the S with you. Now, there's a couple doors you're going to be able to open. 70% of them you won't be able to. If you're an I, 30% of the doors are open, 70% won't. If you're a D, it's even lower. Right? If you're a C, it's even lower. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So what we want to teach you today is we want to teach you there are 4 keys. Use the key that's going to open the door, not the key you feel comfortable with. Not the key you like. Does that make sense? So you'll find, man, this is crazy. Aunt, you was in the room with me. I just had a major breakthrough. I take this test serious. I had a major breakthrough. Me and my son had this it was this tension. I didn't know where it was coming from, to be honest, but it was this tension. And I looked at his test scores and I was like, yo, my man a D. He a 99 D. And my son always be like, you like my sister more than you like me. And I was like, how dare you? Like, wait till you become a father. You got multiple kids. How dare you say you like one kid more? You got multiple kids. You don't like no other kid. How dare you say that? But when I looked at his test and his sister's test, I said, you right. I do love your sister more than you. You are 100% correct. I didn't know I did. You know what I'm saying? Praise God for the test. You are absolutely right, son. Now, it's not love per se, but the way I interact with them is different. And I told my son, I called my son like, I said, son, you sitting down? This is a breakthrough. He was like, yeah, Dad, what's going on? I said, you are a high D. You love problems and challenges. I'm an I. I don't like problems and challenges. All your life, you brought me challenges. Your whole life is a D. That's all you brought me was challenges. Like, cause you a D. And you thrive with problems and challenges. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you actually, if you're a D in the room, you actually like a challenge. You get motivated by it. You geeked up. I told my son, I was like, yo, you a D, bruh. College, you brought me challenges. High school, you brought me challenges. Great kid. Hey, I ain't just saying it because he's my son. He's a good kid. He just like problems. And when you're younger, a D, you create some of the problems so you can fix the problems. And I said, your sister is a high C. She loves policies, procedures, rules. So she never brings me any problems because she's a high C and she's cautious. So I don't love her more than you, but our relationship has been different because me and you have been dealing with problems. And I'm not a D, I'm an I. I don't like conflict naturally, but you bring it to me. And because you and I are so close, because he is a high I too, but more of a D, because you and I are so close, guess what you do? Anything that happens in your life, you bring it to me and you bring me problems, and I didn't know I didn't like problems. So me and you going to have to work something out. I love you and I want you to continue to bring them to me, but we're going to have to negotiate. It's not fair that you get into it and you bring it to me. It's not fair that I'm on the opposite, like here go the problem part. Like, boom, here's the problem, Dad. I'm like, don't do me like that. Let's negotiate from now on about the problem. Does that make sense? So then I went to my daughter and was like, yo, I love you, but yo, you're going to have to start taking risk. Because you so concerned about making me happy that you too cautious. You 24, 22, she'll be 22 in March. My daughter has dated. My daughter dated about 3 or 4 dudes. I promise they don't get they get a month and they do something. She's like, you out. I'm like, boo, you ain't gonna never get married. You gonna be in my basement forever. It don't work like that. But a C is all about perfection. And I'm like, sweetheart, you're gonna be by yourself all your life. You ain't about to find Mr. Perfect. So I'm gonna need you to it was the opposite. Jalen's thinking, oh, you're going to go to my sister and be like, I love you and I see why you ain't never gave me problems. I'm like, no, I see the problem. You're too cautious. Does that make sense? So I need you to understand this. If you're a D, you're going to make money, but I bet the divorce rate for Ds are probably higher than anybody else. Why? Because they constantly moving and going. They don't really got time for family. You a D in the room. I just said it. You know what I'm talking about. Raise your hand for me. You're a D. You know what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Your spouse is like, yo, I love making money, but we ain't gonna never have a relationship. We didn't get married to make money. A relationship is a what? Which one would that be? Which personality will open up relationships? The I. So if you're a D and you married, you might want to start working on your what? You might want to go to God and ask for an I key. Father, please. Oh, I got 5 D keys. I'm talking about killing it, making money. You the man, you the lady. Everybody know you. You killing the game financially. But the relationships. Now, if you're a high I, you got a whole bunch of relationships. People love you, but you broke. Or if you ain't broke, no, for real. Or if you're not broke and you making money, you killing yourself. It take you hours. You got your hands in all kind of stuff just to make a little money. Does that make sense? So when it comes to the pace, I never really thought pace was important till I watched football again. They got 2 paces in football. Somebody help me out that's in football. There's 2 ways to pace the game. And that's what? Say it again. Fast and slow. But how do we know if you're going fast or slow? You got a 2-minute drill. What else do you have? Huh? Good. Say it again. 4-minute offense. Okay, y'all going too deep though. This ain't, I don't care what kind of offense, defense you got. Nope. You got a play clock and a game clock. That's the pace. That's what makes S is fire because they keep that internally. You a D or I, I'm talking about you Oregon. Oregon wasn't paying attention to nobody clock. They was like, that was it, hike, go. I'm like, what in the devil? They getting offsides on a regular basis. Why? Because they don't do okay, take your time. You ever see the guy down already said, and they faking it, and then they look at coach, what's the play? Oregon wasn't playing. Oregon was like, down said, go, okay, go. So their whole offense was around, we're going to go fast so that you as the defense don't get time to set up. That was their whole idea. So as D's and I's, you just go. You always going. You don't never slow down enough. And I looked at the C's and was like, you know what? The C to me is probably one of the most powerful of all. Why? Because in England they worship the Queen. Now I'm clueless on how you just worship one person and you ain't trying to get paid or nothing. You just want them to get paid. I'm like, unbelievable. And they kids, and you hell to, I'm like, unbelievable. But how did it happen? Why do they worship the Queen? You say tradition, where does the tradition come from? How is the tradition made? It's a piece of paper and somebody write on a piece of paper. The C writes on a piece of paper the policies, the procedures, the rules, and then they give them to the people and say, you are an earl, you are a duke, you are a peasant, you are a queen. And we go through that whole line. Does that make sense? You get caught with crack, you get caught with cocaine. It's the same thing. But if you get caught with crack, how much time do you do? 100 years. You get caught with cocaine, how much time you do? You get probation. How? Whoever wrote the rules. The C is powerful. The C is powerful. The C is so sweet that if your house burnt down, as the insurance company, I can get out of it. On that piece of paper, I just found out, your son had the electric. Somebody had something plugged up. We don't know if that was what caused it or not caused it. We're not paying. I paid you all that money, you don't? The C is powerful. And I got to a point as an I where I got tired of starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. I got tired of building up with one hand D and tearing down with the other hand. Of having some success, but then having to come back and fix it. And I said, in the real world, we start with the C. If you're flying a plane, the pilot just don't get in and take off. He called air traffic control. And they tell my man what time to take off, which way to fly, how high to fly. If you're building a building, you don't start with the D. You don't start with a general contractor. You start with the engineer that do the blueprints. And even God himself started with the C because he created the world in 6 days first, and then the rest of the Bible. So if God started with the C and said, let there be, and in the first day it was, and the second day it was. If he started with the C, why would I start with anything else? So when I started looking at it, I started understanding the importance of each one, and then there's an order to each one. So if you're looking to do something in pace and in time, and you don't want to rush it, you give it to the S. If you're looking for somebody that's supportive, you're looking for Dennis Rodman. Let me tell you something. The year that the Chicago Bulls went 72-10 was because they finally got an S. And that S was who? And what did Dennis Rodman do? All he did was rebound. You ain't gonna find no D that's trying to rebound. Ain't no D trying to rebound and not score. A D getting that joker like blah, 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 blah. D ain't passing to nobody. He like blah. But the S was the only one that was like, let me get these rebounds. And he didn't try to score with the rebounds. When he got the rebound, he was looking for one person. Who was that? He was looking for Michael Jordan. That's all he was doing. He wasn't looking for nobody else. Now, if they was open, he might give it to him. But when he got the rock, he got by, and he looked. Guess what? S's are the only ones that don't have a personal agenda. They don't have I got an agenda. Look at me. A D got an agenda. They like, we're going to get these results. A C got an agenda. We're doing it my way. The S is the only one like, what do you want? I just want to do what you want me to do. 20 rebounds and boom, pass it to MJ. You just gave the best player in the world 82 games of second chances. What does that look like? It looks like 72-10. And before you go there, because you're from Golden State, before you go there, I know you did 72-10 too, but you didn't get the chip. Okay, so I feel you. You're like, we got 72 too. Yeah, but they got the chip. Right? And to be honest with you, Golden State has an S2. They got your own and Draymond. That's why y'all didn't win it, because he wasn't, because the S is emotional. The S is emotional, and he got in his feelings. So what I'm saying to you, my brother, is you probably a high S or I. And the reason why you cannot execute is not because you have a problem. You operating in your natural. You were not created to follow through. You were created to start. That's why you're having a hard time finishing, because you weren't created to finish. You were created to start. So if we're running a race, you give it to me first. And when I was in high school, middle school, and we ran a 4x4, you give it to me first. Why? Boom, because I'm going to give you that energy. Not only can I run fast, I'm going to give you that energy. Like, come on, let's go. And when I'm giving you that joy, I'm like, let's go. But you don't put an I in the middle. When you run a 4x4, you put an I up front, D in the back, or D front. Well, actually, you want to do the D last, because the D is just as quick as the I, but the D got a little bit more. Whatever it takes to catch this, I'm about to catch this. But who do you put in the middle? You put what in the middle? You put the stable people in the middle. Because in the middle, you're not necessarily looking to catch up with nobody, because you already started fast in everybody. You just looking for, does that make sense? So then now if you're an I, we're not beating ourselves down because we procrastinate. We were naturally born to procrastinate. But we're going to do two things. We're going to hook up with a D who's going to help us not to. You see, God is so good. He didn't give you everything, because if you'd had everything, you wouldn't try to ever use nobody. You'd be trying to be big time by yourself. So with each one of us, there's a limitation. So you got to get with a D and a C, and they're going to help you to follow through. Why? The C is going to give you the outline, everything you need to do, and then the D is going to push you to get it done, and then the S is going to be there with you every day to support you. Ain't none of the other ones going to be there every day like that to support you. But the S going to be right there saying, you know you're supposed to do this. I can help you, right? Or the final thing you have to do is you're going to have to work on, the D is in you, you're going to have to work on a way to bring it up a little bit. Does that make sense? Good. Questions? Yeah, I know that was a lot. It was, but we got you. You get certified and walk with us. We got you. Yes, ma'am.
So if you're both a high I and
Pick one. Master one first. If you have two dominant traits, master one first and then go to the other one. I've got a person that works for me that's a high D and a high I. I'm talking about they always having some problems. Why? Because they come in with the D boy and then they try to go I, like they feel bad that they didn't went off on somebody. I'm like, you can't do that. You either feel good about going off and living that, or you feel good about being an I, but you can't be both. And they watch me as a leader. They watch me and they see when we do meetings, how everybody just get along. I'm like, cause I'm an I ain't no D. But then they do it and can't do it. And then they be like, what happened? I'm like, cause you trying to be a DI. You can't do that. You confusing people. So it's not that you're being a D or an I that's a problem. It's you're confusing people because you're being two different things at the same time, and I don't never know which one you are. Does that make sense? My kids used to be like, Dad, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what? Like, you so aggressive. I said, aggressive? I ain't never cussed at y'all, put my hands on y'all. I love on y'all. Y'all mom the one that be going off. Like, she be cussing at y'all, laying hands on y'all. What's going on? And as I studied, I realized I'm a high I, but back in the day before I knew the test, when something would go wrong, my I would drop. And my kids didn't know who I was when I went from being all happy and go lucky to withdrawn. But the reason why they never got mad at their mom, because she was always going off. I'm just being real. And when somebody always going off, you can do what? You know what to expect. But when somebody one day hype and loving on you, and then the next day they don't want to talk to you, that's what? That's bipolar. And it's hard for people to deal with people who are bipolar just because they don't know how to do what? Because they don't know what? They don't know who you're going to be. So I can't prepare for what I don't know. Does that make sense? So be a D all the time. All the time. Or be an I all the time, and then be that other one situational. Which one do you prefer to be?
I'm a higher I and a high D.
Yeah, but you prefer to be an I.
I prefer to be an I, but I need to be a D to get things done.
So be an I all the time, but when it comes to executing, go into your D. Does that make sense? So give me an example of when you need to go into your D.
During tax season.
During tax season. For you or for your clients?
For the people who work with me.
So the people that work with you, you need to go D on them. What month do you need to go D on them? When do you need to start going D?
January.
See, you see what I'm saying here? This ain't hard. You know. So January, you need to go D. So in December, have your last party. Have a big party with them. Say, that's over. You ain't about to see her again. And to when? And from January to when? To April. But yeah, you know, March, whatever. So I'm about to be your worst nightmare as a boss. You think they're going to have a hard time if you tell them from January to March and you give them a specific date that you're going to have to go in your D and you're going to have to be very demanding, very driving? You think they're going to have a problem with that? No. Why not? They know what to expect. The problem is they didn't know you was going like that and you went like that. And no, you ain't get nobody know. Now, why do we need to go high D during tax season?
So the work gets done.
And what happens when the work gets done?
We get paid.
Then that's what you tell them. If I'm nice, the work ain't going to get done and you're not going to get. If I'm mean, the work going to get done and you're going to get. Which one you want? Then I'm about to be mean. I'm just saying, it's that simple. Does that make sense? It's that simple, and then you give them the parameters of what that's going to look like, and everybody going to be good. And then, but just tell me that you're going to do that. And if you tell me you're going to do that because it's going to help me financially, how do you think I'm going to feel?
But that also happens in social relationships. I know that.
But then it shouldn't be happening. You can't switch on me in social relationships. In social relationships, you should always be a what? You should always be an I. Because you're an I. Don't switch up on me. When would you have to switch up on me in a social relationship? You shouldn't be getting hurt. You shouldn't be picking people that's going to hurt you.
I think that's one, but also two.
Then that's not their fault. If I went to an ATM machine, just one day, I just happened to go to the ATM machine, push 442. I push 442 and brrr, the money come out. What you think I'm doing tomorrow? I'm right back at 442. I'm just being real. Somebody tell me if this, you know what I'm talking about. I was dating my girlfriend, Dee Dee, my wife now at the time. We were about 17, 18. I went to Atlanta. Never tell this story. One of my homies, I don't know how he got it, but it was a number you could dial and do long distance for free. Y'all remember that? I was calling my girl I never went, I'm not going to dial the number. It may not work today. I was dialing that joker I started giving it out. I gave it out to so many people. By the end of the summer, that sucker didn't work no more. You feel me? So if I come to you and you give and you don't tell me the parameters to it, but you bless me, why wouldn't I come back to the blessing? So whose fault is it, mine or yours, that you didn't give me the parameters? Just tell me, whose fault is it? It's your fault. It's not my fault. You feel me? So here's what my wife told me. She's a 99.99. My wife said, do me a favor. If you want me to do it, give it to me. If you don't want me to do it, don't give it to me. We set parameters. Dee Dee was like, I'm just going to be real. If you give it to me, we ain't going 50-50. We're not going 50-50. If you give it to me, if you tell me you need me to help you with the church, I'm taking over. I almost lost my whole congregation. Y'all laughing. It ain't funny. I almost lost my whole congregation. I bought a new building, bought a structure, and we gutted that sucker out. That sucker didn't move for a year. We didn't do nothing. A whole bunch of people meet, nothing happened. I said, Dee Dee, get results. Dee Dee said, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Do you want me to do it or not? I was like, I just asked you to. She said, no, don't do that. You're about to lose members. People about to be pissed. Do you want me to do it? I said, absolutely. I need you, sweetheart. The building ain't. If you've been to our building, beautiful. Beautiful. I almost lost members. Why? Because when my wife said the floor gonna be white marble, ain't nobody else gonna get a shot. If she said it was gonna be white wall, ain't nobody, she don't wanna hear nobody's opinion about it. I gave y'all Negroes a year. Y'all didn't do jack. I'm taking over. And I promise y'all that sucker got done and it's fire. And we bringing folks in and changing lives. Why? But she told me, don't give it to me. They gonna be mad because they gonna want the wall to be blue and some country yellow foolishness, and it ain't going down like that. This sucker about to be contemporary, and it's fire. But right after the building was finished, I had to call about 8 members that left in the process and be like, I love you. I had to go eye on them. I love you, and believe it or not, Dee Dee does too. She just has a funny way of showing it. Right? But now we got a church now, so come on home. You think I'm laughing? We had to do potlucks and go to people's houses, knock on doors, sit down, entertain folks. They back home. But that D told me, your problem as an I is you say one thing one day, you say the next thing the next day. Be very specific with me. And if you specific with me, we good. But the I problem, the I don't want to be hurting people's feelings, so the I ain't direct. The I be talking all around. My wife like, I just don't understand nothing unless it's direct. Don't worry about my feelings. I'm worried about this communication we having. That I don't know what you said, because you said a whole bunch of stuff. Just say what you want to say. And so a lot of your relationship problems is you are communicating the wrong way. You're communicating the wrong message. And they are interpreting it, communication, the way they are interpreting it, and it's pissing you off because it's not what you meant to say. And so you need to stay in your I, but you need to be an I that learns how to communicate better, if that makes sense.